are some businesses who are nervous about how they're going to police this. Will they be telling unvaccinated people that they can't come in their doors, or will they have the right to do so if they're uncomfortable with that? How is this actually going to work? Doesn't your government need to provide some clear rules, some clear guidelines for businesses to operate in, rather than the confusion that's there at the moment?
Absolutely correct. And the fact is, I think the first and foremost message we've got to send to business, we don't expect them to act like police officers. We do not expect people who are running a cafe to be a police officer and to be wandering around expelling people from their premises. The obligation to be out and about in restaurants and the like is on the person, the individual. However, businesses have got to take reasonable steps to make sure that unvaccinated people don't come to their restaurant. That may be a restaurant or other business, but that may be as small as putting a sign up, vaccinated people are not able to enter these premises currently. We hope to achieve that very shortly, but in circumstances where it is safe.
So what's your response to the concerns that people like the Treasurer, Dominic Perrottet, have expressed that we're going to be moving into a two-tier society with the business and retail vaccination mandates? What's your response to this?
Well, my response is this. It is first and foremost a health crisis that we're dealing with. Now, we want to achieve freedoms for everyone. And the Treasurer is entirely right that we can't be a two-tiered society. But as we attain those freedoms, we do it against a background where we have to have a health response and a response for business. Now, my focus clearly is on getting the response right for business, and I certainly am not a big protagonist of restrictions on any way that people do business. Business relies on customers. They don't want to have people coming in and turning away customers. So the sooner we get out of the lockdown and the limitations on people's freedom, the better. And to that end, the message of vaccination remains a live one. We must be out there making sure that people are vaccinated so that their freedoms are returned.
Yeah. So if it's not going to be up to businesses or cafe owners themselves to have to police this, and if they might have a sign up, as you suggest, saying only vaccinated people are welcome, if this is then the role of the police to actually manage this, will there be fines if unvaccinated people try to go to a cafe?
Yeah, well, there will be. Each business will be required to have its own COVID safe plan. Now, let me give you an example. If someone refuses, say, to have to check in with a QR code or provide any other evidence, it isn't the role of the owner of the business to be manhandling people out of the business, but it may be the circumstances where they have to advise someone, the person entering the premises, if you aren't prepared to demonstrate that you are vaccinated, I will have no alternative but to call the police. But they shouldn't do it themselves. It is not the individual business owner.
What my question is that would there be some sort of fine or penalty? Will you introduce legislation that if unvaccinated people are trying to go to a cafe, there will be some sort of fine or penalty?
Correct. That will be done in public health orders. Public health orders will, in fact, make provision for the circumstances under which people will not be allowed to enter.
And have you discussed
business premises.
Those fines? Have you discussed what those fines will be?
Well, as I understand it, they can be as much as $5,000 for a person entering in circumstances where they're unvaccinated. So I think it ranges from $1,000 to $5,000, depending upon the level of breach. So they're the sort of discussions taking place. But when the public health order is drafted, it'll be clear as to its terms, that the person who is unvaccinated, that's in this 70% period while we're waiting to get to a further embrace of freedoms. But once we're there, I anticipate that we won't need to, and I think the Minister for Customer Service has said he doesn't want to have QR codes a day longer than it's necessary. I absolutely back that in because what we want to do is to see a free and open business community.
Yeah. Okay. Minister, just before you go, just on another topic, we heard Chris Minns, the leader of the New South Wales opposition this morning, speculate that the Treasurer, Dominic Perrottet, might be the leader of the government at the next election. taking the government to the next election and hinting that the Premier, Gladys Berejiklian, might have to resign given it's speculated that and it's been reported in the Australian newspaper that she is facing ICAC hearings at the moment. Are you preparing for Dominic Perrottet to become Premier?
Can I tell you, Chris Minns is probably the best person to remove leaders. He's had plenty of experience doing it. I have to say that Gladys Berejiklian has a reputation in relation to the manner in which she's dealt with the pandemic. She's been bold in her decision-making. As I see it, we are, as a government, are moving forward to deliver freedoms for the people of New South Wales. We don't necessarily need the distraction of who is going to be the Premier at the next election. We're working hard for the people of New South Wales, and Chris Minns can speculate all he likes, that he's better off leading Labor, not worrying about us.
All right. Damien Tudehope, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it this evening.
Pleasure, Sharri.